on a situation just terrible. Like this that still is happening in our world. You know what I mean? And like I posted earlier today on Facebook, man, it's so frightening to be a black man in this world today, man. It's just a different feeling, everyone. Police get behind me now, man. I'm completely scared. I ain't gonna even lie to you. And I'm not even a scary dude, man, but the police frighten me because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're gonna pull me over to mess with me, kill me, whatever. And I mean that like with all my heart, bro. Like I really don't know what their intentions are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for what happened in Minnesota to happen the way it did, it frustrates me in a way that I can't really express because I'm so mad, but then I'm so sad at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of those people, everyone, that try to get our people to try to not be a certain way. Because, you know, we looked at as black folk, we're ignorant, we cause drama and all this kind of stuff. And I was at the forefront of let's not be those people. But now I'm so angry, it's like I'm almost on board with what's happening. That's sad to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I look out there and see stuff is burning up and people are rioting and all this kind of stuff, I used to be like, hey, let's figure out a way. But so how can you say that to so many black men that are just dying and women, man? You know what I mean? So at some point, anger sets in and we don't want to hear anything else about your excuses, about who wasn't trained the right way or any of that. The fact of the matter is you can't bring lives back. You know what I'm saying? And the way we're acting right now, I hate to say it, man, because I'm not that guy, but I'm almost pumping them up as I look at it on my phone. I'm actually saying, yo, tear that shit down now. Break that. Burn that. And it's not even my character, but I'm so frustrated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man, trust me, I'm with you, and I had to take the chance to apologize, bro, because I've cried when I saw that video the very first time. It hit me. I mean, it hit me hard. As a father of two boys who, that no matter what you want to talk about them, because their dad's black, they're going to be considered black. I've just told them, like, man, if you get in trouble with the police, man, just comply. Like, just do what they tell you to do, because I want to see you. I want to pick you up from jail. I want to come pick you up from the side. I don't want to come visit you at the morgue and identify your body. So whether they're right, wrong, whether they have the right reason, ultimately, I didn't want something like that to happen. So I've always just said comply. But what I saw the other day was a black man was complying. He was doing what they asked him to do, and he still died. Bro, I lost it. Like, I mean, throughout the night I woke up, I cried. The morning I woke up, I cried. And I was gonna wait. I've been that person kind of like you, like, man, come on, let's figure this out. Let's help each other. You know, let's get all the facts first. Let's do but this time, man, I was like, nah, man, I was wrong. And I was completely wrong. And I will publicly apologize. And I've done it. I did it in the post I made the other day to Colin Kaepernick, because I was against how he went about doing it just for him more than anything. Not that what he was standing for or kneeling for, I'm sorry, it wasn't right. What he was kneeling for was right. I was worried about him and his money and what ultimately would happen to him. I was like, had he gone about it a different way, he probably still would have been playing. But because of the way he went about it, now that man's out of billions of dollars. And it's not because of his talent. It's because he's been blackballed for what he stood up for. And that was wrong. That was completely wrong. But I didn't support Colin Kaepernick the way that I did. So I am publicly, he will never hear this message, but I'm publicly apologizing to anybody I had a conversation with where I wasn't on their side when they did this. And a lot of times, you know, it took, and it's bad that it took something like this for me to realize that and say what you want. But I mean, I'm human and I messed up, you know, but no more, man. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool whatsoever.
No, it's not, man. It's not. And you never know when it's going to stop or if it's going to stop. You know what I mean? So my thing is this: where do we go from here? Is it more bodies, or do we have an indictment? Do they go to jail for murder? Like, I feel like we have to see something, everyone, for us to stop doing this.
No, I agree with you. And the way that they're doing stuff now, my daughter, she's 19. She came to me, you know, around lunchtime today and said, Dad, can I go to a protest tomorrow? And my initial gut was like, you know what? You know, you probably should. Then I saw what was going on, you know, in Minneapolis, some more videos. And I was like, I don't know if you should, because, I mean, that could get out of hand really, really quickly. And, I mean, it's good to stand up for something, but you know, like it's your daughter, right? Like, I mean, and I'm cool and I'm comfortable with other people, you know, doing it. And I want to be there with her. If I could, I'd be there with her, as opposed to letting her go alone. But if something doesn't change and those people aren't punished the way that, you know, it would be if it was you or I who did that to somebody, it's not going to get better. And what we see in Minneapolis will happen in Chicago. It'll happen in San Antonio. It'll happen in Dallas. It'll happen in New York City. And I don't think these people are ready for
that. They're not ready for it, man, because things can get way worse than what it is. This is just the tip of the iceberg, man. Like, I mean, just think about where it happened. You know what I mean? Just think about where they are. That's Minneapolis. Think about if it was, I mean, don't get me wrong, no life is nowhere is not any less than the other. I'm just saying, if it happened in a big, huge state, in a market, man, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It'll be crazy, man.
Yeah. And what I want to see is, I've seen some people do it. Some may be doing it, you know, people saying some people are doing it for show. Some people are saying they really don't understand. Man, I don't want people to think that they understand what we go through. Being a black man in America, even in 2020, is not what people think it is. And sometimes I say, oh man, it's because I'm black. And some of the friends aren't black. They're like, stop it. It's not like that. I'm like, if you only knew. Like, if you only knew, you know, the people who question us or, you know, clutch their purse a little tighter when we walk by, and not knowing that, you know, that's not even what we do. And be that as it may, maybe their past experiences have warranted that. Maybe that's warranted, but it's not right. It doesn't make it right. But for us as black men, I'm not lying to you, man. I moved into a different part of the neighborhood that I live in now, and it was getting a little dark a couple weeks ago, and I was running. I had on a black hoodie, and I was like, you know, in my mind, for me to be running, trying to exercise and get into shape, I'm thinking these people don't know me. Like, if a cop pulled up or somebody saw, you know, a strange black man running in the neighborhood with the hoodie on at, you know, 8 o'clock at night, it crossed my mind that they would probably call the cops on me. It shouldn't be like that. Not in 2020. Not in 2020. But that's reality for us.
We still doing it, man. It's 2020. We still doing it.
Yeah.
It's like the 60s all over again, man. It's terrible, bro.
Yeah, it's not right at all, man. And I hope that we're able to join forces, and something that we won't lose sight of on this show. But I'm hoping that we can actually connect with some people. I know a few, you know, black ministers and, you know, a few NBA players I talked with today, and we'll talk more about this later, but hopefully a few NBA players that I've spoken with are interested in trying to, you know, do what we can to make a difference. And until we reach out to the appropriate people, or we get down and get a seat at the table and have conversations with the people that can impact change, then I don't know that we'll see any change. But it's also going to take us, and, you know, I don't want to make this about politics, it's also going to take us getting to, you know, the polls, you know, to try and make a difference in what we're trying to do. Because a lot of this stuff comes from the top. And when they're able to feel free to make the comments that they make because of the person who's at the top making these types of comments, I think we've seen, you know, it's you know, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you can't deny the fact that people are a lot more comfortable being, you know, more open about their feelings now that the person who runs this country doesn't give a damn.
Exactly, man.
So, and I think unless our people get back out to the polls and try and make a change, that's one way we could do it. But the other way to do it, man, is to try and come together. And also,
I was just going to say that, man. We got to come together, bro.
Yeah.
They treat us a certain way. If they see us treating us bad, it's not going to mean nothing when they do it, man. You know, I mean, like, we got to start treating each other better, man, or it's not gonna seem like we matter. Because if we don't matter to us, why should we matter to them?
Absolutely.
That's a way that a racist person will think. You know what I mean? You know, if that culture is so messed up, all we do is look on the news and see them killing each other. Why are they so outraged when we do it to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree with you 100%. And the moment that we can do that and start having each other's back and taking care of each other, man, I think that we'll become bigger and better as a community. And the moment that we do that, man, I think we'll see and we'll be able to impact change. But it's going to take brothers getting together, you know, and
I'm just watching.
what's up, CL?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, not much, man. Before we move on to the next topic, did any of you that have chimed in or signed in, did any of you guys have a comment or question or a take on what happened there in Minneapolis?
That shit was crazy. That's why I said.
That's tough, bro. that's like a crime moment.
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned that, CL, and said that, you know, that I've cried over several of those things that happened, man, but seeing that has made me cry multiple times. And to see a man lose his life.
The dude was on the ground, not even moving. And
yeah,
he was basically asking for his mama and everything, telling him he couldn't breathe. And the dude was just posing like, how you going to pose while you putting your knee on my neck? Like,
yeah,
that's just not right, bro. Like, that's horrible, man. Like, the dude, they was literally telling him, like, if you keep your knee there, bro, like, it's a jiu-jitsu move.
Right.
And the dude on the video telling him, like, if you keep doing that, you're going to cut off his circulation, his breathing. But he kept doing it, like, for 7 minutes.
Yeah, as a father I know all of us have kids, man, to see that little, I don't know if you guys saw the 9-year-old girl who got interviewed. She sat there and watched that whole thing, man. As a young Black queen, you know, to be able to see something like that, and to have to remember that for the rest of her life, like, that's
a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I can't imagine, man. But I'm hoping that we can, you know, come together as a, you know, community. And I know what's going on there right now. Like you said, Fresh, it's not right. But at this point in time, man, I don't know that anything is. I mean, I don't blame them. Like you said, I'm not mad. I'm not saying, man, look at them fools. I'm like, man, do what you got to do. Because until we stand up for ourselves, it's never going to change.
They tried to do it the right way at Mental Evans. The last time they had no looting and all that. And it doesn't happen again in there again. So what you expect the people to do, it doesn't happen in their city again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what we're. Yeah, I think we're on the same page when it comes to that, man. Like it's just now until they give us the change that we demand and respect and need, then this is just the way it's going to wind up being, man. And you know, it's sad for all the parties involved and the business owners and the people that are going to, you know, especially with everything that's going on now with COVID and everything else for those businesses to do that. But
they got insurance.
Enough. Yeah.
They got insurance, bro. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, enough is enough.
That man ain't coming back alive. They got insurance. They can get all that back. We can't.
Amen. Amen. Enough is enough, man. I just hope that we do our best to, you know, hopefully come together and not let this continue to happen. So, Colin Kaepernick, man, again, I apologize to the man and what he was fighting, what he was trying to make sure people understood. They still didn't understand, and that's why we lost another life. And we've lost plenty since then. This just happened to be recorded. This just happened to be, you know, there's no dispute in this. There's no doubt in my mind that other, you know, minorities have lost their lives to cops, you know, since Cap decided to kneel. This was just recorded in many angles.
I don't even think it's just a minority thing. I think they just pick on poor people, bro. I think it's people get treated the same way, bro, and they just don't put it on the media because they don't want to. It ain't gonna cause divide and, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
Have you heard anything about these cops that got fired? Are they just at home chilling? Have they been charged with anything? Like
I heard they got fired, but they still got their pension and all that.
Yeah,
right. They fired, but I'm just saying they committed cold blood murder
and they ain't even in jail. Exactly. Somebody of our color, they wouldn't even have to have the video evidence. They would have locked them up anyway.
Yeah, I heard that they were pending investigation, but also that their defense was that's a tactic that's enforced by Minneapolis police. Like they're encouraged to do that. So they were kneeling on him, doing something that they were taught to do and encouraged to do. And so that's going to be their defense. So I think
7 minutes.
Why are they fired to do it? If they're fired,
exactly.
How do you fire an employee that's something that you tell them to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then they don't want to give up the body cam.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we'll see more out of it. I really do, and especially what's going on there. I don't think that Black America is not going to rest until we see some changes. But what I've seen, man, which has been, you know, pretty good to see, was that a lot of athletes aren't just shutting up and playing basketball. A lot of them are speaking out more so than ever than I've ever seen with some of these instances, man. And so I think that's, you know, enough is, and not that the NBA or the NFL should be, you know, the end all be all, but when you see these players using their platform, because let's face it, a lot of them are going to hear their voices more than they'll hear ours. But I think that, you know, with people stepping up and doing the right thing and fighting for what we believe in, I think we have to see change. We absolutely have to see change. And I think we're demanding it. And I think, you know, as sad as it may seem, I personally think that a lot of people who don't look like us saw that in real time. Like, I mean, not in real time, but saw that, and they're like, oh, like, this isn't I think he went and came after my gun, so I shot him, and it's on a video. Like, you saw plain in broad daylight exactly how this happened. And there's no secrets.
From the video I saw, it was a little white girl there trying to get him to get off the dude, and they pushing her back. Yeah, no, for sure. But Fresh, hopefully, man, I don't know, hopefully we can get together. We'll talk more about that too, because I know a few people that I think we can get together with, and then we can hopefully try and impact some change and make things a little bit better for our people. And if we can't do anything globally, if we can at least impact change in our area, I think it's something we should try and do, man. We know enough minorities to get together and and cause some noise. If not, we can get Fred to go, and he can speak loud enough for all of us.
For sure. For sure, man.
Yeah. On to, not to make light of that, because we could definitely talk about that for the entire show, but on to a lighter subject. We mentioned NBA players. And, you know, March 11th, I want to say it was, when Gobert came down with, you know, the coronavirus, the world stopped, man. The world just stopped. And we were without any sports, just like that. Just like that. Without any sports. I know I have my own opinion. What's your take about the NBA trying to get back into action?
I got two different takes on it, and the first thing is, as a sports fan, as a sports fanatic, the way that I am, and I'm pretty sure that you are, of course, I would love nothing more than the NBA to start back. Like, let's start looking at sports. I want to get back to gambling. I want to get back to, you know what I'm saying, talking noise and eating wings and drinking beers. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to get back to that norm. And for us, people that love sports, sports is our norm. Like, we don't know what to do without it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we have to understand what coming back means for everybody. If we come back, you know they're going to try to put butts in the seats at whatever capacity that they can do it to make money. And as of right now, I think 25, 50%, whatever the percentage is dangerous, considering that numbers are still climbing. You know what I mean? So how do you differentiate what's more important? Do you want to, you know, like I always say, you know, lives are more important than livelihoods. You know what I mean? So if they get back to starting basketball, remember I told you earlier, Avron, how do you go about for next season as well? How do you get prepared for the next season if you start at late summer, knowing that the other season starts back, what does basketball start back, like?
October,
something like that?
Yeah.
So if you push the playoffs to the end of the summer, so now the players don't even get proper offseason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you start the season the same time as you were going to start the season if the pandemic didn't happen? Or do you push it back again, which means now we're forever seeing the NBA in a pushback form because you can never catch up?
Right. So I like where you're going with that. And and this will be one of the things that I think I'm hoping that I changed my mind on, to be honest with you, because when this all first started, I made a comment, and when I commented on it, my comments made it seem like I affiliated with a different political party than I really affiliate with.
Right.
I want to see basketball back. I really want to see basketball back. I'm a season ticket holder for the Rockets, and I can't stand the Rockets. They're not even my side chick in the NBA. That would belong to the Pelicans now. But I'm gonna tell you, my son and I, or whatever team Kevin Durant plays for, but my son and I go to almost every game we can. And it's just something that we do. We stay up late at night, watch the Lakers play. We absolutely enjoy watching the NBA. And I didn't know how much I missed the NBA until, this stuff happened. The world needs it though, bro. Like I think the world needs sports. The world needs the NBA, not at the cost of lives. I agree with you when it comes to that. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be able to do that. But what I heard was that they would push the season back because they're expecting a second wave of this to happen in the wintertime anyway. So they would push the season back a little bit to avoid that, get back to start it with or without fans early while this whole thing was going on, do the regular season, push it back up until right around the time the Olympics start, which would be a few weeks later than what it would normally be, play a few less games, and then that way they'd be able to catch up like mid-November. So like you said, it wouldn't be pushed back forever, but for at least maybe a year or two, it would be a couple of weeks off than what it was usually on. But the interesting take I heard today was from Damian Lillard, who said, if we're going back, if we're not going to be able to compete for a playoff spot, then I'm not playing. He's like, I'll go to practice, I'll be with my team, but I'm not going to play meaningless games. And for me, I think that's a big issue. Like, how do you get these guys to come back and play games that really don't matter?
Right. So if you brought back the season, bringing back the season, in my opinion, means bringing back the season where you were when you left the season.
Correct.
I don't feel like you can bring the season back and then just go to the playoffs because so many people had so much riding on this season. You got people in contract years. You got guys that got a chance to make the playoffs with 20 games out. 20 games out is a lot of games.
A lot.
If you're 3.5 games back and you got 20 games and you go on the street, anything can happen. We all know basketball is a game of runs. Who's hot at the end of the season? So to bring these guys back and just say, hey, you didn't make the playoffs because when this pandemic happened, you were not in the playoffs at that time. How unfair is that when a regular season basketball season is 82 games? So you want to bring me back and you want to not let me compete for the playoffs, but you want me to play meaningless games with a chance to contract the coronavirus as did some of the players already have. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So
yeah.
I understand where Damian Lillard is coming from. But I don't know if you heard, but also they were saying that one of the things that they could do was have like a play-in tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You get the guys that were close to getting to the playoffs, you put them over here and you play like a tournament as we would in flag, and whoever comes out of it gets a chance to go to the playoffs. I don't know if you heard that, but that seemed crazy to me.
Yeah, like 7 through 12 to play like in a play-in tournament, and then the people that come out and make the top 16 or something like that?
Right. That way you can get guys who feel like they're playing meaningless games to be able to come back and play. Because if you do bring back the NBA, who wants to see a Portland game without Damian Lillard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody. So they got to figure out a way for, if people not going to be there, at least people can turn on their TVs and watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if Damian Lillard's not going to be there and all the stars who don't have a chance to make the playoffs won't be on their teams, we won't watch those games as fans.
Yeah, speaking of Damian Lillard, if they're getting back Nurkic and Collins, they're a team that, you know, as a Lakers fan, and CL, I know you're a Lakers fan too, that's not really a team I want to see completely healthy. You know, not with the rush that we have at our age. Like, I don't necessarily want to see that. So, no, I get it. I totally get it. I get it. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so you're saying so what would, in your opinion, what would be the best thing for the NBA? If you were Adam Silver, what would you do?
I would bring the NBA back. I would play it with no fans, and I would play it with the games that were remaining. All 20 games or whatever that was left, I would let them play all the games, no fans, and whoever made the playoffs made the playoffs. That's the way I would do it.
If you didn't have traveling, so if you're all playing at one location or a couple locations, would you play more back-to-backs? Do you think they could, you know, be able to do that? Would they just be willing? Do you get those games in? How do you get those games in?
I think in order to, and that's my thing. That's what I said about sacrificing other seasons, because if you're gonna bring the game back, you have to bring it back where it was. And in my opinion, that stretches it out really, really far. Because if you don't bring it back where the season ended before the pandemic, how can you honestly say you're bringing the game back? You're altering it.
Yeah.
The way that you feel like you want it to go based on the stars that we know that are going to make the playoffs, that were already in the playoffs. But as much as we want to make the game about all the stars that we love and we wear their jerseys, the other guys have a right to try to get there as well. You know what I mean? They may not be the guys we all rave about or even in our top 10, but if they are 2.5 games out, they deserve to finish their season. Because LeBron loves to say that he wants to finish the season. You know why? He's in first place. He's 35 years old, and he wants to try to win a championship. And if he tries to say anything other than that's not the reason, then he's lying to himself. You know what I mean? But if we're going to come back because you are close to a championship, then we got to give everybody else what they're close to as well. Because making the playoffs means a lot to some of these guys as it means to Bron winning a championship.
No, absolutely.
That's an accomplishment in the NBA. You know what I mean? For Luka in his second year to take his team to the playoffs, that may be something that he looks at as a major accomplishment.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And one of my favorite stories in the NBA this season is somebody like Chris Paul. What Chris Paul's been able to do in OKC,
that's crazy.
Ridiculous. Like nobody gave him a chance. So, and I don't want to see them in the playoffs. I'm being honest with you. And now they're going to be completely healthy. I mean, I just get excited just thinking about it. But that's what the NBA does to me, man. Like I wish they could bring it back. What's your take on them coming back but not having all the teams? So like saying, only 24, 26 of the teams come back and everybody else is not playing. Like if we can't get to Canada to play the Raptors, or the Raptors aren't able to come, or whatever that is, because we'll be playing in one spot. But could you do it without everybody coming back?
That's a really good question, man. I think you can do it without everybody coming back if you take out the teams who didn't have a chance at all to make it. You know what I mean? Like, those are meaningless games. I understand the guys that are 3.5, 4 games out, but if you were completely 10 games under 500, 15 games under 500, you can't make it. I mean, I don't even really see why they would want to play.
But is that fair to me? If let's just, I don't know I think the Lakers already played them 3 times, but let's say I'm playing the Spurs. I got to pick on the Spurs, But like the Spurs aren't very good right now. So if I didn't get a chance to play the Spurs as many times as the Mavericks did, but now I got them on my schedule left, those are 2 easy wins for me. That's going to lock up my number 1 spot. Is it fair that they're not playing and I don't get a chance to beat them on the sorry-ass Spurs? I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't get a chance to beat them on the Spurs.
And that's right, man. But I think, and that's what the NBA is having a problem with, everyone. What we're doing right now, that's what the NBA is having a problem with. Think about it. Everything that they think about that sounds perfect has a loophole. You know what I mean? So put yourself in their shoes. They're trying to bring the game back, but if whatever they do, some people are not going to be happy. So they have to come up with the best thing possible for them to move on with the game, and they have to just say, okay, some people are just not going to be happy about what we're doing, because you can do some stuff in your mind to tell me why you think it should come back and why it shouldn't, and I can break yours down. I can do the same thing, and you can break me down, because there's going to be loopholes in whatever we say, because it's going to be unfair for somebody no matter how we spin it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And that's why I think it's so intriguing to be able to have this conversation, because I think everybody has a different take. CL, what's your take on that?
Oh man, I'm with Fresh with it, man. Nobody's gonna win, because either way you go, you're not gonna make everybody happy. But the way they were saying, though, they want to try to make a tournament out of it, and they've been trying to make it 1 through 16 instead of East-West anyway, and they want to bring in the 4 teams that had a chance on each conference to play into the tournament. So, I mean, that'll be exciting, because it'll be kind of like the NCAA atmosphere. But like I said, either way they do it, somebody going to put an asterisk by whoever win the championship.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my point exactly.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm telling you right now, they don't put the asterisk on the ring, though. That ring.
That's true.
Nah. That ring ain't gonna have an asterisk.
Hey, Avron, the Spurs still got their ring from '99.
Yep, sure did. Sure did.
And every Spurs fan I know claims it. Every single one of them claims
Why
that.
Not?
Yeah.
Why not? And they're trying to cut the league from 82 games anyway to like 65, and they said they're gonna try to start in December. That's why they're trying to do it this way.
Yeah, and so
they're trying to incorporate everything they were trying to change. They're using the coronavirus shorten the games and stuff like that.
But if we're gonna have people, you know, doing what is it? I forgot what the name of what it's called now. What's the rest called? The load management. If we're gonna have this load management stuff anyway, as a fan and as a season ticket holder, I'd rather them shorten the season than me go to games and, you know, on my way to the game, listening to on the radio, finding out that 3 of the 4 starters aren't playing. Like that's just we don't pay for that. Like we don't pay for that. I don't even
I think that's why they're trying to shorten the season too.
Yeah, for sure.
As a player, I would be so mad with the season being shortened. If I was just coming into the NBA, for the simple fact of everybody before me had a chance to play 82 games every season. They got their numbers up to these crazy numbers, and I'm never going to be able to reach because I'm only playing 60 games. I'm never going to be in the top 10 scoring points because I played 30 less games than what everybody else used to play. So how am I going to be looked at as one of the greatest of all time if I can't even get in the top 20 of all-time points? You know what I mean? So it's like, I see what they're doing. As a player, I'll be so pissed though, man. But if it works out for the load management thing, then I guess they got to do what they got to do. But at the end of the day, you're not giving the youth a chance to become the greatest.
No, not at all. And ultimately, you know, if you're going to be, I mean, the money will be good. It's the NBA, right? They're not living paycheck to paycheck and not getting thousands of dollars. But ultimately, contracts will change too because you're not playing as many games and the money that these kids have an opportunity to make. Man, I just hope that I hope they make the right decision. I hope it doesn't come at the risk of, you know, losing people's lives. But when that match this past weekend was the most watched golf event in the history of the United States, that's bad. And that was fun. It was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. But that was the most watched golf event in the history of golf. And it was 4 people playing in the rain.
Avron, that's just like The Last Dance, man. It would have been watched, but it wouldn't have been watched like that.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, it definitely would have been a hit, but it came on during the pandemic and people just went crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they kind of took advantage of that situation.
No, I feel you. I mean, I feel you on that, man. But I just can't wait to wake up and we're getting too close to, man, I'm a fantasy football champion. I take pride in that. I want to make sure that I'm able to win my fantasy league one more time. I want to see the Lakers win the championship because they're so close to it. I don't want to see Anthony Davis in a Bulls uniform, and we'll talk about that some other time. But if this is the year we got him, I want to use it. You know, I want to. And call me selfish, but I want to see us. I want to see us finish the season.
Let me just put this out there real quick for everybody that's tuning in that I go back and forth with on Facebook. I am a LeBron fan. I love LeBron James. Just because I feel like Michael Jordan the GOAT does not mean I don't love LeBron James. LeBron James is my favorite player in the league. I love to watch him play. And when he leaves, he's going to be the greatest of his time. But I just feel like Mike is the GOAT. I just want to get that out there for everybody that sees me comparing stats and doing all that stuff. I do that to prove a point, not to slander LeBron James in any way, because he's a phenomenal player, athlete, and person.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. LeBron James is one of the best all-around basketball players I've ever seen. But what Michael Jordan showed in The Last Dance, and forget what I saw when I was younger. Michael Jordan is hands down the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the dude is just, bro. I mean, and he does something for me that, and it proved in The Last Dance, but he does something for me that a LeBron just doesn't get. Being a Cowboys fan, Tony Romo didn't get it. Kobe Bryant tried to get it. Shaquille O'Neal was too cocky and too arrogant and too lazy at times to get it. Michael Jordan demanded the best out of his teammates, period.
Yes.
If you wanted to play with me, this is the way it was going to be, period. And he was a jerk on the field. I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm nowhere close to Michael Jordan in the flag football game. I've won every event I possibly could except for TAP, the one you won 3 times, right? I've won every tournament but that. But on the field, I'm a complete butthole sometimes. And my teammates will tell you, I got one watching right now, he'll tell you, man, I'm a jerk on the football field. I'm yelling boom, I'm talking trash to people. I don't care who you are. I don't let my son win in games. I'll beat my daughter in games. I'm not going to let I'm trying not to lose any chance that I get. So I get where Michael Jordan was coming from, but Michael Jordan's record speaks for itself. And what he was able to do for players where LeBron passes up on opportunities, Michael Jordan will pass only if he's double or triple team. LeBron sometimes, in my mind, I think he passes out of situations so he's not the scapegoat. The reason Kobe Bryant missed the most game-winning shots in history is because he took the most and he wasn't afraid. You know what I mean? Like it's my team. We're going down like that. LeBron is amazing. LeBron, and I like him more now that he's a Laker, but he's not Michael Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
You know, I know, like you said about the last topic, man. The NBA, with it being so close, and with football season being so far away, we can kind of we can kind of talk about that completely all night, because I can do it myself. I know you can. You know what I'm saying? But I know for this is a fact. You're decked out in Cowboys gear. I got my D hat on, and I got my We Them Boys t-shirt on, and I'm all decked out in Cowboys. So you got the right gear on, just the wrong jersey.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. See what I'm saying? That's the thing. You know what I mean?
That's my quarterback.
Got the wrong jersey on, man.
Man, leave my quarterback alone, bro. Wait, please.
And, hey.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk about this.
Yo, I wasn't even going to bring it up, but I kept looking at your jersey the whole night. So I have a question for you. And you know, since this is jokes, this is just our authentic takes, which means we have to be authentic at all times. That's what we do. So, Mr. Quarterback here, that's supposedly, I'm not going to even bring up the fact that he's turned down deals, because I heard that was kind of false.
Can we say his name? Can we just mention his name instead of calling him the quarterback? Because we know his name.
Rain. Because he's kind of cloudy right now.
Dakota Rain.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, it's Rain Dakota.
Rain Dakota. Oh, I call him Dakota Rain.
Yeah, I feel you. But listen, man, I got a question for you. So, my question for you about Dak is, when people discuss him, they always say what we don't have for him to succeed. So if I bring up the fact that he didn't win this last division, which I felt was the worst thing about this whole season, because the fact that you threw for 4,900 yards is crazy that we couldn't win this terrible division. But that's a whole other topic. So what I'm asking you is, every time I debate Dak with somebody, the first thing they say is our wide receivers led the league in drops. Our defense was not good. Zeke didn't do everything he was supposed to do. The O-line was not as good as we used to having it. Well, for $100 and whatever $1 million quarterback, I don't feel like everything has to be perfect for this guy. If you're going to make all this money, I think you should win us some games just off your talent alone. And I don't feel like he does that for us, because if he would have, we would have beaten the Eagles and we would have been division champions. Because that game, Dak was poor. And that's the one game that we didn't need him poor in, because we scored 9 points and all we had to do was score 18 and we go to the playoffs. So answer me, why does everything have to be perfect for a $175 million quarterback?
Okay. You cut me deep, Shrek. You cut me deep. I don't know that everything doesn't have to be perfect for Dak. But what Dak does that a lot of people don't give that man credit for is he plays within his system and he does what we've asked him to do. I think with McCarthy there now, I think things are going to be a little bit different. I think when we've played games and we've come out play one and ran play action to stretch the field, throwing to Tavon Austin, or trying to stretch the ball down the field to Gallup, like we've been successful. You know as well as I do, there's been first and 10, Zeke, second and 10, Zeke, third and 7, let's try to run up. Like, no, like that's not going to work. Our play calling has been lethargic at best, and it's been that way for a long time. It was that way even when Tony Romo was there. Tony Romo just had escapability and was able to make some plays. Sometimes he was successful. Many times he threw interceptions that cost us a bunch of football games. But ultimately,
capability.
Say that again?
Why was Romo more elusive than Dak, and Dak is way more athletic?
Romo gave 0. Romo didn't care if he threw a pick. Romo would throw an interception, be on the sideline like this, like that's exactly what he would be doing. He could get. I mean, I think Dak cares. I mean, I think he really cares, and maybe he cares a little bit too much. I've got friends who say he's worried about his completion percentage. He's worried about stats, so he takes sacks he shouldn't need. I would rather him not turn the ball over, but ultimately, man, there's not many people that win like this dude, and he's got this city, this team, and Cowboy Nation. You know, either you love him or hate him. You love the guy or you hate the guy. But I would trade those wins instead of. I mean, I didn't think we would go 8-8 this year. I thought we should have been better. I really do think we should have been better. But I think this year with the play calling and him having a little bit more control over the plays and being able to audible out of plays, you and I would have audible out of some of those plays. You know, some of the calls that we made. But instead, he's forcing passes that he probably really shouldn't be forcing. And he looks terrible at times. But other times, he looks really great. No matter who you are, I don't care how bad you are in real life, throwing for 4,900 yards in the National Football League is hard, period. I'm just being honest because there's a lot of quarterbacks who've not even been able to do that with good teams. Whether you're trailing, whether you went 1-15 and were trailing the whole game and passed 50 times, you weren't able to throw for 4,900 yards. So I know that he's better than what our record has shown, and our record isn't really that bad, to be honest with you, with him at quarterback. But I think you and I expect more. I think Cowboy Nation expects more. And I don't say it that often, but I think we'll see it. I think we'll see that this year, and we don't have an excuse. That's for damn sure.
So what is it about Mike McCarthy that makes you think that we'll see different?
I think
because remember in Green Bay, he didn't do what we want to do here.
Right, but I don't think in Green Bay he had Aaron Rodgers, who in one of my opinions is arguably one of the top, definitely in the top 10 in my opinion. Maybe top 8 quarterbacks ever played this game. So he did have a quarterback like that. I'm not saying Dak is that quarterback, but I don't think he's had the offensive line. He hasn't had the running game. And arguably, they had a good offensive line, but the receiving core that Dak Prescott's going to have this year with the addition of CeeDee Lamb, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of Michael Gallup. He's a dog. I mean, like, Gallup is a dog. But with Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper, name 3 better receivers on one team in the NFL. Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas are close, all right, by themselves. They're good. I'm saying 3, CL. I said 3, not 2. They're good. They're really good. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we'll be all right. I think Dak will get a little bit more. I think the leash should be a little bit longer. I think that he's got a lot of pressure on him, and if they pay him, he has no other choice but to respond. He has no other. His money's not guaranteed. You know as well. I mean, he'll get a good guaranteed pay, but his money's not guaranteed. He's got to perform. He has to. And if they give him the franchise tender and give him $35 million for this year, he'll be making the same amount as Russell Wilson. And I don't think he's better than Russell Wilson. I don't think he should get paid what Russell Wilson gets paid. But if Mahomes is going to wind up getting 40, 42, Lamar Jackson's going to get 40, and they're winning the same amount of games as Dak, how do you tell Dak you get 31 or 32 when Carson Wentz is getting 33?
So let me throw this at you. Last year, we were at the bottom half of the league in the first half because second half we were actually good. In the first half, we were at the bottom half of the league in 3 and outs. We had, I think, the 3rd most 3 and outs in the first half than any other team in the National Football League. Now, for some reason in the second half, we did way better than that. But we could not get started well to save our lives in any first half of almost any game. And I think that's where play calling gets terrible because now you don't have certain things available to you. You know what I mean? Because now Zeke is not as effective as he would be because we went down into the half 17-6. So we know we're not coming out running Zeke like 20 times like we would. You know what I mean? Play action not working because who's, like you said earlier, who's believing a play action and we're down 2 touchdowns? Nobody. So I think that getting off to bad starts really hindered some of our play calling because when you're a bad play caller, the one thing that cannot happen is for you to become one-dimensional.
Absolutely.
You need run game options, pass game options, trick play options. You need everything available to you as a bad play caller because when you are a bad play caller and now you have to pass the whole game, you don't have enough in your repertoire to get guys open.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And our best receiver was guilty of dropping some passes a lot too. And Dak is missing wide open receivers. I'm talking about just playing catch. Those that keep you and I up all night over the weekend,
yes.
or a whole year. Like, dang, if I would just hit him on that. So I get it.
He misses wide open Gallup more than anything, though.
They're bad. Their connection is terrible.
It's something between him and Gallup that needs to get better. That's why I want him to get signed and get in. Because I don't know if you heard, but it's been rumored. I'm not going to say that it was like something that was true, but it's been rumored that we could offer Michael Gallup in the 3rd round pick to the Jets for the safety.
For Jamal Adams?
For Jamal Adams. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm thinking to myself, they said a first and Michael Gallup?
No. Woo! That's hard to pass up, but.
Yo, but you know what? Our radio station here, because I listen to 105.3 The Fan out here in Dallas, and they were saying that they don't understand. They feel like we as a fan base hyping up Michael Gallup. They don't feel like he's as good as what we think. He was, I think, what they say, 6th in drop passes last season.
Yeah, he was bad. That's what Ben Young commented on Facebook and was talking about our drop passes. Our drop passes are bad. I know Jag is watching, but as long as we didn't drop that many against the Redskins, we were all right. But you're right about Gallup. I mean, they are right about that, but I wouldn't get rid of him.
No, I don't think I'll get rid of him for Jamal Adams because at the end of the day, I think you can win without a safety. I think it's a bonus to have a safety, but I've seen teams win without an all-pro safety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think corner is a little bit more important position, and considering we just let Byron Jones go and we just drafted this rookie, we don't have no choice but to play that guy.
Fresh. Gallup had 66 receptions, 1,107 yards, almost 17 yards a catch, and 6 touchdowns. And that's with Dak missing him. I can remember 3 or 4 touchdowns easily.
How many drops? Just say how many drops?
Yeah, I have to find that out, but that was a lot. I know that was a lot. He did have quite a few drops, and that was his problem. But he's a young player, talented player. But something that he's got to get. That's something that he's got to get better at. But I think he's hungry, man. I think that
66 catches for my number 2. I'll take it all day.
All day.
And I think okay, Michael Gallup over or under 66 this season.
Over.
See, I think under because I think CeeDee Lamb's gonna take some receptions away. I think CeeDee Lamb end up with north of 40 receptions.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's an interesting take because you're right. We lost Beasley and Randall Cobb filled in great. And I want to say Randall Cobb had, he had a ton of catches himself. No. Look up Randall Cobb's numbers because he didn't have a ton of catches. That's the crazy part. I'm talking about for the time he played, for the amount of time that he played. Because how many games did he miss?
I think he only missed 1 game, 1 or 2 games.
Randall Cobb had last year. He had 55 receptions, 828 yards. 55 receptions? Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, not as a number 3, 15 yards a catch last year. And you're right. He did play in 16 games. He started 6. He started 6 games, so my bad. But he had 83 targets last year. So
that's not bad.
No, so CeeDee Lamb can get those targets, we'll be all right.
Right. So does CeeDee Lamb get more receptions than what Randall Cobb had last year?
Whew. I'm going to say yes. But I'm thinking we throw the ball more than we've ever thrown. And I think Zeke becomes that true 3-down back that we need him to be. But I don't think he's going to be carrying the ball on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down sometimes. Like last year, there was so many times where we ran the ball on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. It blew my mind. I wanted to break all my TVs. Like, it just didn't make any sense.
Yo, we definitely got to watch a game together, man, because you sound like an insane fan like me.
Bro, it ain't fresh. It's bad around my house, man. We take every TV, every converter. We have the wireless genies from DirecTV, and we only have DirecTV now because we want the NFL Network, right? So we get all our TVs, put them in the living room, and I've got 5 to 6 TVs watching Red Zone, and every game is on, man. It's like a damn like a bar. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's insane. I love it though, and it's just something that I hope to do more. I hope to do more of, man. But we'll definitely get to a game. Maybe I'll talk to the people at Gridiron and see if they can get us some tickets to the Cowboys game or something.
Yo, definitely, man. We got. Yo, I don't care how we get Cowboy tickets.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We might be a one of 20,000 in the stadium, but we'll get some tickets.
Hey, it's all good, man. Hey,
yeah.
Upper price for them, I don't care. I just want to go to the game, man.
Yeah, for sure. Man, before we wrap this up, man, I'm telling you, this is everything that I wanted. And before we go to the next segment, our final segment, CL, you had a comment about everything so far, and I know you like commenting about the Cowboys, but go ahead, unmute yourself before I mute your ass and not let you talk trash about my boys.
Oh, no, y'all was great, man. Y'all had a great offseason. I mean, y'all just got to pay Dak, man. I mean.
You said we got to pay Dak? That's my dog right there.
He looking at his future, dog. He know that the salary cap go up every year, and he said he want a 4-year deal, but Jerry want 5. And he said the 5th year, give me 45. By then, he said he think he'd be worth it. I just feel like betting on himself. But if he was smart, he'd do like Cousin would, take the 35 franchise and get paid after that. Or if they franchise him again, he gonna get paid. Cousins got 2 franchises that was $70 million, and then he got an $84 million 3-year deal. So,
I don't mind him getting 45 in that 5th year CL. But here's the thing: we're not going to give you 35, 35, 35, 35, and then 45. Now we'll give you 25 one of those years. So when we do give you 45, it still add up to the 175 we offered you. You know what I'm saying? So if you get 25 your first year of the contract, and then your 5th year of the contract you get 45, everybody wins to me. You know what I mean? So you're still getting $175 million no matter how you cut the pie. You hear what I'm saying? If he wants $45 million in the 5th year, give him $45 million in the 5th year. Just give him 25 one of those years within 4 years. You know what I mean? So I think we're making it hard, man. And I think, like you said, we need to get him signed. But if we don't get him signed, CL, go Andy Dalton, baby.
Oh my God,
man!
Hey, I'm glad. I am glad we signed Jaylon Smith. I thought that was important. Jaylon Smith is, a great story, and somebody who I think it makes our linebacking core, our defense, just that much better.
Remember to save that for next show because I don't like Jaylon Smith.
Oh my, see, okay, all right, we'll save that. We'll definitely save that. But let's wrap this up and let's talk about one last thing because I know we got some flag football players watching on Facebook and hitting me up via text and everything else. And this whole coronavirus is like brought the flag football community to its knees. And not being able to have a flag football tournament and us be able to do something that we probably all have taken for granted has just been devastating. And I'm not even talking about just for me as a business person. I'm just talking about as a human being, man. I mean, CL's one of my teammates, so I enjoy seeing his face. Todd, he's played with us, against us. You know, E's on here. Like, to see people on here and then the support that we have from people watching, man, what's your take on us getting back, to playing flag football?
Well, I mean, as you know, we've been back. We've been playing a couple of tournaments here in Texas. Have you seen? I'm pretty sure you've seen on Facebook and stuff like that. Shout out to Alex Castro, and Chun and a few other guys are getting ready to start back up. So we've been playing a little football here lately, but man, my take on getting back is I really feel like it's like what you said with the NBA. I really feel like we need it. I really feel like it's a part of our lives. You know what I mean? And although we don't want to put ourselves in harm's way to do it, but I think we've been doing it in a way to where we can be safe about it. It's not been many teams at these tournaments. Some people are out there with masks on. Some people are just using sanitizer on the sidelines. I mean, I see people taking precaution in how they're playing the game now. And as far as us getting back, man, I can't wait to you do one of your things. You know what I mean? So we can get back to traveling and playing some stuff that you do, man. But in all actuality, man, I can't wait to get back to the brotherhood of it because at the end of the day, that's one of the big reasons I play, Evron. A lot of people don't know that's one of the big reasons I like to play. It's just simply for the fellowship and the brotherhood. So I'm excited about getting back, man.
Absolutely, man. And I'm with you on that. And there's some times where, you know, we do some tournaments and Roger and Rob and, you know, Mike and Rod and Ben and Cotton. I'm going to forget a few of them. JC, Chris Miller, Alan Cooks, Nate now, Eliza, DJ, Joey, all the directors that we have. You know, we do these things a lot of times and we don't we don't make a ton of money doing it. And especially when things like this, it comes to, you know, fruition. Chris Davis, I'm sorry, I forgot about Chris. Those are some things that we really don't get a chance to see. And we don't really do this for the money, but we do it just for that fellowship, man. And we're doing a tournament June 13th, 14th here in Houston. We limited the number of teams. You know, we're working on sanitizer. That a boy, CL. We're doing it at the place where y'all beat us. Y'all beat us in the championship here in Houston a few years ago.
Yeah,
the Sportsplex. But we're trying to do a tournament, man, limiting the number of teams, but hopefully getting a chance to get back out there. I told everybody, man, I'm hugging every single person that shows up. Like, I ain't got coronavirus. I'll test it. I'll do everything, man. Like, I'm just so excited to get back out there. I want everybody to have some fun. But like you said, we need it, man. Like, we need that fellowship, and I hope we don't take it for granted. I know as a director, I don't. As a player, I definitely don't because I miss it. But it would be great to see your face out there. You know, everybody wants to beat Havoc, including Ty. We all want opportunity to beat the best, and right now you guys are sitting up there at the top. So everybody wants y'all. So when everybody feels it's safe to do so, man, I hope everybody's able to come back out there and support.
I don't really think everybody wants us. It just sounds good to say out loud, but you don't really want it. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't really want that smoke. They just talk about it. But I tell you what.
Is it past your bedtime, Fresh?
hey, speaking of that, and this is the last thing, man, I promise you. I was having a conversation with one of my guys, man, and we were concerned about where 8-man is right now, just as a sport, because 7-man is really kind of taking over with the AFFL, and then if you go to Florida and you want to play nationals, they don't even have 8 non-contact. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, even here, like I explained to you the other day, I'm doing some stuff with Prime with 7-man stuff. 7-man is just growing, and I just feel like 8-man has kind of been put on the back burner, man. So as somebody that runs 8-man tournaments, where do you think we are with 8-man? I think a lot of people watching are concerned about that too, man. So if you can tell us real quick from your mind and kind of maybe you can ease our minds a little bit about where you feel 8-man as a game is right now.
That's a great question, man. And I think that if more people, so I lived in, I don't know if you know this now, but I lived in Vegas for 4 years and I got a chance to play strictly contact. Right? So when I came back to Texas, my goal was like, you know, let me bring something different. Let me play 8-man contact, but 8-man contact became more like spread offenses, and it really wasn't much as blocking, unlike 9-man. It just became more, I was running the spread offense in Vegas and scoring, 30 points a game because it was different. You could bring your biggest lineman at us, but by the time he gets to me, I'm throwing the football, right? So I thought that 8-man, like you thought 8-man was dead, we need to do something different. I think that if other people gave 8-man an opportunity, because right now it's just, oh man, I want to press, I want to do this. If some of those 8-man and 9-man guys played 8-man non-contact, I don't think they would do very good. And if we played their style, we wouldn't do very good. So while I think it's going to grow in Texas, my goal, my dream is to introduce this and offer it at other locations across the United States, because I think just like we fell in love with 7-man because they offer it, I think if we offered 8-man and they saw what it was like, they don't have to screen. You don't have to have a blocker. I don't use a blocker. But I think if they saw it, they would be like, oh, it's not that bad. And I'm playing for 30 years. If I was playing contact for 30 years, I wouldn't be able to say that I'm going to lace them up in 2 weeks. I'm just being honest with you. But without this contact, I've been able to play as long as I have. So that's my take. I'm hoping to do it for the old folks like me who want to be able to play a little bit longer. But 30 years of contact probably is not going to happen. I'm just being honest with you.
Right, straight up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping. But I'm hoping that we can offer 9-man and contact. I don't know if you know this or not either, really quick, for the first year or two that I did Gridiron, every single flyer I had contact on it. Every single one, because I was hoping I could get 4 teams, like to offer the contact. I was praying, but it just didn't work out. So maybe we can. And then maybe we can get some of those contact people to see what it is like an 8-man, because it's different. I mean, it is truly different.
I definitely wanted to stick around, man, because like you say, I'm trying to three-peat. So,
oh man,
I mean, you know, we got to keep it. We got to keep it the right. I'm trying to three-peat and get my fourth at the same time. So,
man, we're gonna have something to say about that, right, CL? And I think Ty does too, man. But Fresh, thank you, man, for a successful episode for Jokes, the very first one. I'm looking forward to more of it. I know we went a little bit longer than what we wanted to, but we kind of knew that was possible with both of us being able to have a chance to talk. I hope that we can continue to address the issues that face, us and our children and the people that we love and respect, throughout, on a daily basis, but also give the people who, support us the opportunity to speak up. CL, all of you that decided to join, we will record this. We'll have this recording live. And we recorded this live, and we'll have the opportunity to have this, available for all of you guys to see. So if you guys want to go back and look at it or see yourself, then we'll be able to do that. But thank you guys for the support. Fresh, you got any closing words?
My closing words, man. The only thing I want to say to everybody, man, that's watching, especially my flag guys, I challenge everybody, man, to do better as far as dealing with each other in these flag football games. We all see what's happening around the world, and it don't make it any better for us acting the way we act with each other sometimes on the field, man. So we could try to even, make that a little bit better environment. Even our flag football games. I know we're gonna talk noise. I know we're gonna do all the stuff that it takes for us to be competitive. But at the end of the day, most of us are all black men out there, and even the ones that aren't love us. So let's try our best. I challenge every flag football player, man, to do something nice for somebody else. You know what I mean? That in this time that we're living in. So next time we're playing flag football, man, let's try to keep it no fights, no cursing each other out. Let's see how good we can do in that aspect. You know what I mean?
Amen, man. I second that, man, and I'm up for that because I know when I get on the fields, I can go crazy too, even being a director. So I promise to live up to that, and I appreciate that as a director and as a fan, as a brother, man. I appreciate that, and I echo that. But thank you very much, man. These people will hopefully see enough of us. Those who got a chance, took the time out of your night to watch us and to comment. I'm sorry about the Facebook post. We'll have somebody on there next time, making sure they keep fresh and updated with what's going on. But thank you guys for the support. It means a lot. This won't be the last time you've seen us. But y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
I laugh.